Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. It is hot, 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 hot. It's been hot a couple of days. I am doing the show in a bathing suit cover-up because I think I have beach hair, pool hair, I have no idea, but the only way to survive yesterday and today and maybe the weekend is to sort of be in the water someplace. And how lucky for us that we are surrounded by water everywhere. I'm sitting here actually in a different room because I have friends and visitors from what I called my old life in New Jersey. So they're in my office shared bedroom space. So where I'm sitting, I'm actually able to stare at the water, and I'm glad that I'm in the air conditioning. I just want to say that, even though I'm looking forward to going in there. Good morning, Tracy. To be enjoying the water as much, because I know you've been working really crazy hard. Um, Something's going on with the Wi-Fi. There you are. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I heard what you were saying. I am planning on taking today off from 1 o'clock on, and I am going to sit with my toes in the water as
I think
well.
your whole body is going to slip in. It's
Yeah.
that hot. It's not. We're beyond toes in the water. Like, it's been, I don't know how you're doing over there. I know you were out on the streets yesterday.
Yeah, I was on a pier in Brooklyn running walkthroughs from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, straight out in the sun. It was something else.
But I'm not complaining because, as we all know, the hashtag winter is coming.
Oh, please.
So I want to remember these days in winter and be like, oh, remember when it was so hot?
I would take this every single day of the year over winter.
Given that we're 5 minutes away from the water, yes. If we were landlocked, maybe not so much.
Yes.
Good morning, Chris. How are you? Good morning,
Hi,
Veronica.
guys.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
I have like I said, our friends are visiting from New Jersey, and they love wine. So we have plans to go to a couple of vineyards, and so it's so appropriate that we're talking to you guys today. Because given that we're surrounded by this, and this is one of the things that people do enjoy and about being here, I'm so glad you guys are on. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you guys for having us. What? Say again.
Tell us who you are and what you do.
And just get a little bit closer so we can see you both.
Your faces have to get closer. Yeah. Your shoulders are close. There you go.
There you go.
So we are, I'm Chris, and this is Veronica. We are from North Fork Designated Driver. So pretty much what we do is we offer a convenient and affordable way, alternative to visit the winery safely without having to, nominate somebody, or somebody has to draw straws to be the designated driver. Exactly. Or, having to, maybe spend quite a bit of money for like a limo, or, a bus or van, there's.
Or the non-existent Uber on the North Fork, which doesn't even exist,
The Ubers are hit or miss at best, you know what I mean? And at the same time, with them not even being highly available, you would have to call at every single stop. You know what I mean? Like when you're ready, wait around, who knows how long, while you're trying to have a nice day and enjoy yourself. That's, kind of like aggregate, kind of like messes it up, could be aggravating. So we provide a driver that drives the customers in their own personal vehicle. And it's, it's reasonably priced, and it's very flexible, like also some of the things with the limos and larger vehicles, besides the cost, is that, they're locked into a schedule. Sometimes there's only like, a few wineries, or they need to be by appointment. When you're in a personal vehicle, it's very flexible. You can stay as long as you want. You can go into all the wineries. There's no limits to where you can go, and you stay out as long as you want. You know what I mean? And when you're ready to call it a day, were you ready to move to the next stop? You have a driver right there, ready to go. And then
sometimes when you step out for the day with the group, you don't really know where your plans will take you, right? So it's nice to have the car on standby, if you will. So if you've decided, this is not for us and now we're headed to the beach or wherever, it's great to have you guys right there ready to go.
Yeah,
So
because
let's back up a little bit and tell people exactly what service it is you're using, because even though I know you guys, what you're describing is a different service. I know that like at the end of the night, you guys provide a service where you'll come and you get in their car and drive them home in their car. But it sounds like you also offer services where you're taking them from stop to stop.
yeah, I'm glad you asked to clarify. Yeah, so the main part of the business is actually providing a driver to meet someone, say at their hotel or Airbnb or bed and breakfast on the North Fork, or mostly it's often between Greenport and Riverhead.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll go out further on the island. I've been to Manhattan to meet a group and drive them back to the North Fork for the day. So the driver arrives, parks their vehicle, hops in your car, takes the keys and takes over driving for the afternoon to the wineries, and then brings you back to where you started. Sometimes that includes
Wonderful.
dinner as well. But what you were talking about, I call like a two-driver pickup. That is where if you were going out to dinner, for an hour, a couple hours, you could schedule in advance that we would arrive in one car with two drivers. One of us would hop out and drive you and your vehicle home safely, so that you could enjoy your dinner, have a couple drinks, but not have to worry about the ride home. So we do that as well.
And then wait, let's clarify what the other car is for. To drive the driver home?
Yes.
Okay.
to follow or to get the driver home from your house at the end of the night. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Because
Exactly.
in the first scenario, the driver's car is already where the pickup was. So I'm just making sure people understand. I was like, why are there two drivers?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, we do both of those. We also offer other services. As the business has grown, and we would get phone calls for other services, like, could you take me to the airport? Could you drive my mother who's elderly to medical appointment? And
Could you take Tracy and all her gear to all these events that she does in New York City?
we could absolutely, yeah. So it's expanded into other areas like medical transportation, senior transportation, airport runs. But the concept is all using your vehicle. Which keeps the price down. It's actually very convenient for a lot of people, especially if they have children. Car seat, you don't have to be ripping the car seat out and put it in an Uber. You know what I mean? And then ripping it out and getting it back with you. So there is some like added perks to being in your own vehicle that even like with pets and wineries, we have people call up and they want to bring their two dogs to the wineries. For us, it's your car. That's fine with us, of course. And then it's like, hey, help me narrow down some pet-friendly wineries, and I'm happy to do stuff like that. Or even the same thing applies to kids. Not all the wineries want kids, so some are kid-friendly, some are not. So in the planning process, we help with whatever we could do to make the day go as nice and smooth as possible.
So Veronica, I want to take a step back, Veronica. Tell us how the two of you found your way to the North Fork.
Well, Chris has been living there for over 20 years.
Like 12 years.
Oh, 12 years. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then,
Time
but
flies, doesn't it?
I've been driving with the company for over 3 years now. So it's been great. I actually live in East Patchogue, so I don't live on the North Fork. But what I love about the job is that I see a lot of places on the North Fork that I never even knew existed. So that's one of the great things about driving, is meeting the people, seeing these beautiful places that exist. So I really love it.
So you could really help with planning the itineraries, if you will, sort of what Chris was talking about. If you have kids, if you have dogs, you can kind of steer and say, based on your experience of having been to so many places,
Right.
maybe this is a better plan for your group.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Some of the places, like we'll have a group that they're looking for live music. So we'll call ahead while they're in one winery. We'll call which ones have music that day, let them know. We also know which wineries allow like outside food to be brought in, which one has a food truck that day. So we kind of become their like concierge for the day, like whatever they need. If they need us to go pick up lunch while they're at a winery, we can provide that service. So it's really wonderful. It's very customer service based, and you get to meet great people and see beautiful Long Island. I love it.
Tell us how. how you guys came up with this business and how long you've been doing it and how it's evolved.
Sure. So my father actually, Mike, who you guys know, he retired from his career as a teacher. Probably around I forget, but at least 13 years ago or so. So he came home one day, and I can still remember. He was like, what do you think about starting a business? Like the next phase for him, I guess. And
Oh, wait, hold on. I just want to say most people that retire
yeah,
don't come home and start thinking about starting a business.
Actually, everyone I know does. You included, Shanita. But anyway, go ahead.
Am I retired? Question mark.
I know. Yeah.
He's already got
That's another show.
Yeah. So we just, long story short, we were like, well, we're out on the North Fork. What, the wineries are, the big thing on the North Fork. And little by little, he came up with this idea. And that was about at least over 12 years ago, if not 13 years ago. I think our first job ever was New Year's Eve 2012. So,
which makes
quite a while.
perfect sense. Like that, that evening you would definitely think about, not to mention it's so late at night for most people that are partying.
yeah.
So
And then he ran the company for, the next several years, and I was one of his drivers,
So wait, I have a question. Did he, because for those who don't know Mike, he's been on the show, and he has a business called North Fork Vintage Cars, which is dear to my heart. I love the concept, where he has a few vintage cars of his own, and other people that have vintage cars, he puts on his website, and then they're available for photo shoot rentals, for movies, proms, weddings, everything that you can think of, and there are some amazing cars. So my question is, did both businesses start in parallel? Did he start this one first, and then the vintage cars came later?
This one was first.
Oh.
Then it was North Fork Vintage Cars, and as he got busier with that, I took over the reins of the North Fork designated driver 2 years ago, and now he's on to North Fork Scavenger Hunt.
Tracy,
So
do you want to talk about that for a minute? Because I know you and your family just did that recently.
Yeah, we had a family birthday, and we had plans to go out on the boat, and it was sort of a gray, rainy day. And
well, an adult family birthday. It wasn't a kid. But I just want to point that out.
And because I knew your dad, I knew Mike, and I knew of his business, I was like, I have an idea. And we did it as a family. We had ranging from ages 2.5 to 76, and everyone loved it. We had a great time. It was my sister's birthday, and she even like weeks later was like, that was really fun. That was really fun. We had a great time.
Yeah, he stays busy. He's got ideas all the time. So probably like 3 years ago, I officially took over the business of the North Fork designated driver, and it's been great. I love it. I've never been happier. It's providing a valuable service. It's good, keeps the community safe. We meet great people. We have many repeat customers that I've known for years now. So it's really a pleasure to provide service on our end. And the only thing I have to watch out for is Veronica does such a good job. Now people that I've been driving for years
are asking.
They're switching alliances, and they're
Veronica. And you know what? It's great. I love it. It makes me happy. That they're happy, that the customer's happy, everybody's happy. And
well, good pro tip to know that you can request the driver you want.
Yeah, I do my best. I try to, I put a lot of thought into which driver, what the dynamic of the group is, and try to match up accordingly, good fits. Sometimes it's just like a gut feeling. I'm like, I think I'm going to put this, because we have about 10 drivers. So, for the wineries. And it's always like my dad would always say, it's like putting a puzzle piece together every week and deciding which driver's going to what job. And, it's always like Friday's a busy day. It's like.
I was going to ask you, is your work primarily on the weekends and in the evenings?
So what's happened is the Saturday is the big day for the wineries, obviously, unless on a 3-day weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Um, in the summertime, the weekdays and the wineries become more of a thing, and some people enjoy the avoiding the crowds during the week. So that's it's a different experience, to be there on a weekday as opposed to a Saturday. Especially in the fall. When it's peak time on the North Fork.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
also it's beautiful to be able to sit outside and we keep saying wineries, but we're not forgetting about the breweries because they're pretty popular too.
we do
Yeah.
But
too.
like today, for example, is really hot to sit outside. Not to say that we won't go, but in the fall, it's just perfection to enjoy
Yeah,
the outdoors here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that because there are more and more breweries, and my first thought is always like a wine tour for the wineries, but we also have done many brewery tours. I forget exactly how many breweries there are now in the vicinity of the North Fork, but
At least
at least 10, I
Well,
think.
and growing. I mean, Riverhead especially. I feel like it's
Yeah,
the beer
Riverhead
capital
has
of Long
5 or
Island.
6. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
But I also want to say restaurants. I know some friends of mine when I was away traveling ended up wanting to go to dinner in Greenport, and then they started thinking, and they all live here, right? But they all started thinking, oh, we want to go out and just enjoy ourselves. So they ended up, I don't know if they ended up getting a cab or they were trying to figure out solutions. But even to go out to dinner as large groups,
yeah,
I think it's great. So I have a question. You mentioned that most of the times the service is in the car that the person owns, right?
right.
But what if people don't have the vehicle that carries the right amount of people? Do you
Yeah.
have any services from all your fleet of cars available?
What we do is, and I'm glad, I saw when you mentioned a large group going out to dinner, I was going to talk about that as well. So what we do is we will offer multiple drivers. So say it's like, 10 people. If you have a couple SUVs, you get 2 drivers, kind of do a caravan out to wherever you're going. And people do that a lot. It still probably comes in more affordable, I'm sure, than, hiring a large bus or limousine. It's I've even had up to, I think my most was like 4
Okay.
drivers. Had like basically a wedding party going to a wedding, and we had all these drivers arrive all in one car. You know what I mean? Hop out and drive 4 different vehicles for the afternoon. So that's the option with larger groups, and so
And it makes sense because you're not carrying the cost of renting a car. Your
Right.
costs are limited to, paying for the driver, and the vehicle is your own. So that makes sense.
yeah, and it works out because the North Fork, so many places are 5-minute ride, and especially if I'm able to help with the planning, and if you're not familiar with the North Fork, I can help with, well, if here's the 4 places you want to go, like this one's right next to this one, then
Yeah,
you'd
you
want
don't want to go to Contra Costa and then
and then
Twin
go.
Forks and then back this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
You have a plan.
Yeah, I help people really streamline and make it make sense, so that they're not wasting time, they're not in the car, and then they're spending time together, enjoying themselves, So it's
So
it's
how do people contact you? How do they start the process of asking for your services and booking something?
a couple different ways. Our website is northforkdesignateddriver.com, and you can go on there and complete the booking process without just from there. There's a booking page. There's a button. Click here to book a driver. It's a simple form, and then I'll have all the details I need to provide the driver for your day. You can call me as well. Our phone number is 631-734-WINE, which I love. And I can answer any questions. Sometimes people want to talk things over before they book, and but everything's sometimes I tell people they're if they're not sure what time they want to start the day and stuff. Just estimate and give me a call if you want to adjust it. You know what I mean? I can adjust it once it's booked. It's not like which the whole thing is very flexible.
And how much advance notice do you need? I mean, obviously you can book far in advance, but
Yeah.
sometimes people make plans after they get here. I know when my girlfriends get here, we have literally no idea, and then suddenly we're like, "Oh, let's do this."
Yeah. I just say, just call, you know, and like I said, I have about 10 drivers. The more notice I have, the more likely, but I get last minute calls all the time, and I do my very best, and I'm often able to still provide a driver, you know, even if it's the night before, you know, the day of. It
You know,
happens, you know.
this is this side of your business is new to me. Like I said, I only knew about the end of the night pickup. There's probably another little tangent that you guys could go off on, because I know I've been looking for this. When I have meetings towards Manhattan, but that are not necessarily in a place that are close to public transportation, I end up driving.
Right.
But I lose sometimes 3 hours on the way there and 3 hours on the way back, where I can't be answering emails, I can't be doing Zoom
Right.
calls. And
Right.
I have actually been looking for someone to drive me. And but like, in your mind, you're like, I'm going to pay all that money for someone to just sit there for 3 hours while I'm in the car. Like,
Yeah,
in
Tracy, you brought it up a couple of times. Those 2 hours are valuable for you because in the back seat you can do so much. You know?
Absolutely. So that could be. And there's so many people who've relocated out here now and work from home out here, but still need to get to Manhattan.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, because people do it. We, especially with the airport runs. You know what I mean? If we're going to JFK and I have someone going on business, they're in the back seat, and you know, it's I'm driving and they are being productive, getting things done the whole time. You know what I mean? It's taking advantage of that time. You know, so I think that's a great idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'll be your first customer.
Okay.
And don't forget,
I could use you yesterday.
Okay.
Don't forget, you can request the specific driver you want, Tracy. So you may have to try out 3 or 4 and then just keep requesting Veronica over and over.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm used to it at this point.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to try a test drive with Veronica so we know why people are gravitating towards her. Because I have another question. Could your dad be also one of the drivers? Because I know Tracy and I would definitely put his name down and hear all his stories.
Oh yeah, no, he's still one of my drivers, and he does a great job. He always has. You know, he's the original.
I love it.
It warms my heart. What a neat idea that you get to run a business with your dad and be able to work with him. You know, I think it's so great when adult children get a chance to spend such quality time with their parents. I think you're very lucky.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do too. And we brainstorm a lot together. You know, it's nice to have, and myself and Veronica too. We were always brainstorming, and you know, I very rarely will make a decision without running it by, if not one of them, both of them, either Veronica or my dad. You know, so even those simple decisions.
Well, for the people who are working on their way into the city, you need a driver who doesn't chat a lot. So I think your dad would be out for that one.
You have to read the room, you know. You have to get a feel for, okay, some people are chatty, some people are looking for good conversation, other people just want you to focus on driving, which, you know, and no conversation, they got stuff to do, you know, and you get a sense of that within the first couple minutes of the ride, you know, like, this a talkative ride, or this is going to be a just keep my mouth zipped ride. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we hop into our NOFO Live 5? We end every show with the same 5 questions. So if you guys, and you can each give us your answer, if you guys were going to take us out to lunch or dinner, where would you take us?
You want to go first?
Well, we had kind of, you know.
We did kind of prepare this.
Okay, great. So you have the same answers.
But you know what? We do everything together anyway. So
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we were going to go with lunch because I enjoy. I don't think to go out to lunch as often as I do dinner. So I was like, I like to do a nice lunch once in a while. We've been there many times, but recently, last time I went out to lunch, we went to the Red Rooster right in Cutchogue. I really liked it. You know, it's very it's close to where, you know, we live for one thing, but it's just very casual,
very
good
homey.
food, homey.
It's great food. It really is great food. I think it's one of the, I don't want to say hidden secrets, but it's not talked about enough, and they do have great food.
A lot of people don't know about it, so it's very cute and clean.
Yeah, we just like the comfortable atmosphere there. It feels like you're in somebody's kitchen, you know, like in like dining room. You know what I mean? I love that. Or you could sit outside. It's a cute little spot that I feel like it's not something that it's almost overlooked a little bit sometimes, I think. I know people know about it, but for me, I really was like, that's a good choice for us, I think, for lunch. Yeah.
Well,
So
I
that's,
know
Upset
about it,
nearby.
and I haven't been, so I will take you up
Yeah.
on your lunch offer.
Wait,
Yes.
you
Yeah, okay.
haven't been to Red Rooster? We need to fix
No.
that ASAP.
I
Tracy.
know.
It's good. So obviously you guys drive all over the North Fork, so you've probably seen every end of the street that ends to every beach. So please tell me where I should go next to catch either a beautiful sunset or a sunrise.
A lot of times, because we have young children, we'll go to veterans in
Ooh.
in Mattituck.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a good spot. We'll get some takeout. We did that several times where we'll go bring some food down. They have tables. Watch the sunset. The kids run around. Some of the kids are older, but they still run around with the younger kids,
Yeah.
and everybody has a nice time. We
It's
have a little
beautiful.
bite to eat as the sun sets. So Veterans Beach right in Mattituck. I enjoy a good sunrise too, but it's hit or miss if I'm going to be awake at that time. Well, pretty often, yeah.
Don't they do a music series also like Mitchell Park does? I thought they did one on Wednesdays, unless I'm missing the place. I'm gonna check it out. I think they used to in summer on Wednesdays have music at the park, and if it does, I'm gonna post it in stories. So
If it does, we're gonna go with Tilly.
I mean, I have been in the past. I haven't
Okay.
been this year, but I believe it used to be Wednesday night.
Okay.
I'm gonna dig it out and find out, because now I feel like music in the North Fork is really expanding in the parks. Like Monday nights at Greenport, Tuesday nights at Orient Point, which at the Little Shack. If you haven't been, Tracy, we need to do that.
Yeah.
And then
I wanna
Wednesdays,
do that
and then I
too.
saw again Fridays in Greenport. I'm like, I should just be outside every night.
Yeah.
Well, especially in summer. Okay, brewery. Obviously, you've been to every single one. So, not that you have a favorite, but what do you want to recommend, or where would we find you enjoying on your downtime?
You want to answer this?
We like to do listen to live music and so forth. So we've been to the Greenport Brewery, the Von and Peconic, and we do cornhole tournaments. Not that I'm good, but it's fun to participate and try. So anything that we like to be active. So anytime that there's music or activities, trivia nights,
events,
we'll try to attend those things.
When the dog diving, things like that get our attention, and Greenport always has something planned, some coming up that we've done.
We just celebrated 15 years, and I must say I have never been there where they had bad music. I don't know how they screen them. I don't know how they curate them. Every band there that I've ever ended up at has been amazing.
Yeah.
And you're right. They do a Halloween thing. They do a dock diving. They do so many things to bring people out. And they have such a huge outdoor space in the Peconic area. So it feels like you could easily spend a couple hours there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and since you guys you seek out the activities, I would be interested to know, where are some good dart boards on the North Fork? Do you know of any?
That's interesting. I wonder if maybe Whiskey Wind or Broken Down Beliefs. We do love darts. I gotta say,
I love darts too. And because I don't drink, I don't go out to bars. But like you said, like an activity, I could go if I knew I had an activity to do. And
it has a lot of activities, especially outside. Like they have little the cornhole and whatever you can hang out. But we should check with Mike from Bogies. He's part owner in Whiskey Winds. And if they don't,
I love darts.
Darts?
Yeah.
Fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
All right. North Fork NOFO Live Dart Night.
Okay.
We'll have the drivers ready to go.
That sounds great.
Mike's definitely coming to that one.
Yeah. Yes.
He can be the passenger with us. He doesn't have to be the driver.
Okay, so when you guys are cooking at home, what farm stands are you hitting up and for what?
I end up a lot of times Wowak, right on the main road in Laurel.
Yeah.
I end up there most of the time. Wickham as well, right in Cutchogue.
They're all great. I mean, that's the thing about the North Fork.
There's so many choices. A lot of times it's like, well, I'm going to be going this way, so maybe Bayview. You know what I mean? The farm stands, I stop by, several of them, on different occasions. You know what I mean? It depends, kind of sometimes just where I'm passing through.
Yeah.
You know,
And our customers will always kind of ask, especially in the fall, to stop, get some items, get some corn. A lot of them are going back to cook. Too,
in the
or
middle of wineries, you know,
Yeah.
we'll pull over at a farm stand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit actually, and they'll pick up stuff for, you know, if they're not going out to dinner, they're making a nice dinner at home. They grab some fresh produce, you know, and have it ready to go, you know, when we drop them off at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
it's a good
Or
question.
flowers. I find myself lately pulling over a lot
Yes.
for the sunflowers because they're just everywhere on every stand. Even if I
I
don't
love-
need them, my car just has to pull over.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. No, it's a great.
It's a staple of the North Fork for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we know why we love you being a part of the North Fork community, but why do you love being a part of the North Fork community?
I think, like many people, I think there's just, it's such a small town feel that's just really, really, you know, you lose that, I think, sometimes in as you go further west. There's something about when I cross 105 and I'm on the North Fork, like that first inch of being east of 105, I feel different, you know. And it's tight knit. It's a great place to raise kids, you know. Like, you know, I like the fact that it's a lot of small businesses. I know people, you know, who own, you know, this restaurant or this place, this service, you know what I mean? Everybody gets to know each other, and it's just I don't know, it's just,
it's a community. It's beautiful.
yeah, there really is a sense of community, you know what I mean, which is you know, it makes it a very special place, you know.
Yeah.
I you know, I think a lot of people would agree, you know, it's unique, the North Fork. I love it, and can't really imagine living anywhere else, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
hard
to
to.
address two of the comments. Steph, we will post in our stories the web address and the phone because somebody asked for that. And then Mr. Steve asked, are there any family-friendly restaurants on Shelter Island? Do you guys know?
You know,
a bunch.
well, you know, it's funny. Shelter Island is like an interesting place. It's not often that we go over there. I mean, we can, but a lot of times I think when people are looking to hit the wineries, you know what I mean? It's not as frequent that we make it over to Shelter Island. I really not as familiar. I'm thinking maybe the Chiquit.
Well, Shelter Island Beach, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because it's outside, I think that might be more kid friendly. But you're right. I guess most of the people that are touring multiple stops probably stay either on the North Fork or.
They don't venture over to Shelter Island very often. I mean, it happens, and sometimes what will happen is more often is I'll get people staying on Shelter Island coming to the North Fork.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take the ferry over, for example, drive them back in their car to the wineries, and then bring them back to Shelter Island. It's a good question, though. You know, there's always I try my best to keep on top of everything and to have the answers. That's something I'll have to look into a little more. You know, because you know.
But we would call and try to find out if we have group for that.
I do know there is a pizza place. I don't know which one it is. My family went to it and they had like big Connect 4 outside and they had outside tables and it was a pizza place, but they also offered other things. It wasn't a sit down service restaurant, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is a craft brewery, Shelter Island Brewery.
Oh yeah.
You know, in Shelter Island.
Sounds like, Sunita, we need to reach out to some more Shelter Island businesses and have them on NOFO Live. Or they need to reach out to us because we're fully booked for the year.
Well, actually, I think, is it next week or the week after? There is a boutique from Shelter Island that is already scheduled to be on the Pure Thread. Yes, I don't know which week it is, but they're coming up. But I was thinking about something you were saying, Chris, about how there are so many small businesses, right? Tracy and I have been doing this for 3 years, and every Friday we talk to a different small business. I mean, that's the only reason we're able to continue doing this. And there's still so many more we haven't even explored or touched. So it is definitely a very unique place to live, and it's hard to explain it from the outside. I know every week I mean, at least I sound like I'm drinking some Kool-Aid here, and I'm totally in love with the area. It sounds like we all are, and everybody's gravitating and finds their way towards here. So I'm really glad that 3 years. Exactly.
I know.
That's how we feel.
You know, at my meetings yesterday, when I told someone that I live in Jamesport, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's so wonderful out there," and I said, "It's literally like stepping back in time."
Right.
that's what I feel like. I feel like I've stepped back in time to a simpler way of life, but I haven't lost what's that called? The creature comforts? Did I make that
I
word
think
up? Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and that to me, it's like, I feel like I'm raising my daughter in the 50s when we're out here food shopping at farm stands and, you know, hitting beaches and long walks, and everybody knows each other. And I feel totally comfortable with her running around at wineries and stuff like that. It's just really nice to live out here.
No,
Well, for a change, Tracy, as Southold people are going to be enjoying Jamesport tonight. We're going to be in your area for a restaurant.
Yay! Wait,
I've
where
never
are you going?
been,
Are you going to Grana?
We're going to On the Dock. We're literally by you.
Okay, can I at least just come by and say hi? I don't have to
Maybe.
crash your
We'll
dinner.
talk. We'll talk.
Okay.
Go outside, people. Enjoy this beautiful hot day. Find a beach. Find some water. Stick your toes in it.
yes.
Thank you for joining us, guys. And we'll see you next
Thank
Friday.
you for having us.
This
This
was
was
wonderful.
wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thanks for being on, guys, and thanks for your
Bye.
service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys.